Well, hello everyone. I hope you're having an awesome Monday. We're having a good Monday. It was an interesting Friday. We decided to test the limits of, as we talk about technology and people and how important the technology is, but how the people portion is so much more important. Yes, fun time. So first off, thank you to everyone that decided, that helped out and said, hey, we can't hear the audio. And I have how many times we've done videos on here and never ever had an issue. And then audio, it just happens, so you roll with the punches. So first off, I just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone that helped out and just, raised their hand. Hey, we can't hear stuff. And secondly, maybe first importantly, thank you, Laurie, for being on. If you missed the show, man, go back and watch it. Laurie Halter, you think I'm a ball of energy. Laurie, hey, Brian, hey, everybody. So great seeing everybody. Welcome everybody. She is just a ball of energy and love her. And if you haven't, or if you watched the episode, if you watched it or listened to it, I guarantee that you walked away feeling better about yourself. You were just like ready to take on. We're always ready to take on the weekend, but you're ready to take on the weekend. You're like, I just feel better about everything. And she just makes you feel better about who you are and better about the world. And as crazy the world gets sometimes, you're like, hey, life's okay. We can do this. We can do this. So thank you so much. And like I said, if you haven't, well, I've just teed it up for you. So go watch it, go listen to it in the show notes. You can click on, follow her and what have you. And yeah, just a phenomenal human being here. So love her. Thank you so much. I'm going to jump around. I know the show notes talk about like, hey, what's going on, but I'm going to jump around real quickly and talk about who we have on this week because we have another gem of a human being, David Long, who, unless you've been living under a rock or like off of social media, taking a hiatus from social media, David Long is just an amazing human being. And it's 8:35 Central Time. And I guarantee he's already been on like 7 meetings, maybe done, a marathon or something at this point. He is just an incredible human being. And he is on this week. And I'm so excited for everyone to be a part of this and able to pick his brain for a little bit. I'm sporting a little, pandemic of positivity. I've got my pushback shirt on here from Sooo. And he's just an incredible, awesome human being. You do not want to miss this. And hi, Larry, how's it going? And anyone, if after my show, Larry, I believe you're on at 10 a.m. Central, 11 Eastern today for the Larry Feldman Show on Jeff and Ian's podcast and YouTube series. Go watch it. Yeah, go watch it. And so don't miss his show as well, because as anyone knows, Larry is crazy and I love him to death and we're both crazy. So go check out his show as well. So yes, David Long this Friday. So a couple of things to recap here. Before we get into like the meat of what we're, the serious part of it, you'll see that the title here is Do You Hear Us? One, because I thought it was funny because no one could hear me on Friday and it was a bit of a laughter, and you got to poke fun at yourself first. Secondly, we've got the more topics about kind of what's going on with Ford and what have you. But I did mention that this weekend, Chris's niece got married, and man, it was just, I'm going to throw this picture up here real quickly, but just had a hell of a good time. It was awesome. This was on the bus ride back to the hotel after a very long in a good way, phenomenal night, and just had a phenomenal time, awesome time. And just man, Amanda and Mike, you did it so well, man. We just had they did it right. So they're off on heading out to Florida right now on their honeymoon, and we just had a hell of a time. So just kudos to them, congrats to them. And you two are two gem of a human beings. And on top of everything else, we saw the two ends of humanity while we were out there. So on one end, we're at the Hilton out in Oak Brook in Illinois. And as we're getting ready to get on the elevator, there are a lot of weddings going on during this time. And there was a couple there that obviously they were for a wedding and they were waiting for elevator and they had all their stuff there. And we're just going to call it asshole. Like everyone was waiting for this elevator, and the couple was there beforehand, had all their bags ready and they're all dressed up, waiting for the elevator. And some dick decides to like sneak in there, and he does like the all like sneaky move to get on there. And Chris and I look at each other, and they're just like, literally just go, what the hell did he just do? It was like, just like, what are you doing? So we had that. And then we had another person that did the same thing. Like a whole crowd of people are waiting. And like 2-3 people just like decide to get in the elevator. Then on the other hand of it, we had just an incredible human beings where Chris had played golf with with the groom and the groomsman, what have you, on Friday morning. So I meet him out there after we get done with the funnest of the podcast, and this on Friday where there's no sound, and it was awesome. And we get done. I get out there, and we get out to his car, and I go, both go, oh my gosh, he's got a little 350Z, and his tire was flat, and there's a full out. You can see the nail in it. We're like, oh well, we'll just change the tire, get a spare in it, no biggie. So we're trying to change the tire, and I've changed a few tires in my day, no biggie. And we're trying to change it. We're like really struggling because like the little, the things they give you they're kind of play school items to say the least. And so we're trying to change it. And some random guy out of nowhere, his name was, what was it? Cordell. I'm spacing his name right now. Anyways, he comes over and he's like, hey, do you need some help? We're like, oh no, we got it. We're good. And he just goes, okay. And Chris has been struggling for a while. And he's just, oh, I got it. And the guy comes over, just boom, 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 got it. And he got the whole thing. We're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And there's just some random guy. He was in from Texas and we're like trying to pay him. He's like, no, don't worry about it. I mean, if it wasn't for him, we would have been there probably another hour trying to get the lug nuts off. And just such a nice gentleman. It was just, oh man, just so thankful for this. So we have the total end of the spectrum of just super, super nice people. And so just thank you so much for him because it was just such a godsend there. So just so thankful for him. And like I said, there are good people that still exist in this world. I'm so grateful for them and just continue to do good in this world. So with that, we're going to jump into here a little bit to some of the chaos that's going on. So in case no one saw this, Brian Pasch, his open letter to Jim Farley from Ford was shared over 9,000 times in the first 24 hours. So we're going to pull this up here. And I'm sure everyone saw this. If you didn't, maybe you just weren't on social media. I don't know how you could have missed it here. But it was everywhere. So we kind of, if you were at DMSC as well, this was discussed quite a bit, just kind of, hey, where's this model going? What's happening with it? Brian, as always, is never fearful to go there. And I love that about Brian. That's another reason, not only, like I said, I have David Long on this Friday, but there's a reason why I'm wearing this t-shirt is that we need to stand up and say something. So Brian goes through and just says, okay, answer these questions for me. So my question is, how many people reshared this post? Have you read this post? These are very valid questions. So if you haven't had a chance to read this, if you haven't had a chance to share this, please do, especially as Ford dealers. This 100% directly impacts you. I mean, you're looking at just some really key things. So this is obviously, that's quite there's a lot going on here. So I'm sure quite a few people are talking about this. I believe, just about anyone that's probably doing any type of channel this morning is talking about this. And I'm sure on Friday or Saturday they were talking about it as well. But you can go through and read this all. And then show notes, I won't say dumb, but just like summarize it real quickly. So we're just going to kind of go over that. The first question, is Ford changing their building standards and facility requirements to minimize the investment dealers need to make for their new facilities or facility upgrades? Number two, who is going to work out the upside down trades or poor credit? I mean, that happens all the time. If you have great credit, no problem. But what happens when you got something that's upside down? Who's taking care of that? Number three, the trade-in. Who is purchasing the vehicle and where the hell is it going? That's not even remotely addressed in there. Certificate. Who's certifying the pre-owned vehicles? Pretty valid question, I would think. What is the risk tolerances with other OEMs? So if I know that, hey, I want that vehicle, you're telling me I got to wait 6 months for it. Well, if I can go to the dealer down the street that's a Toyota store and I can just go get it, what's going to keep me from going down there? That seems like a pretty valid question. I know this, once again, this was discussed at DMSC that, hey, if they've got it, why would I go build the order when I can just go on the street and get it? That's a big risk assessment there. What happens to Ford models and incentives that do not sell through national inventory that were pre-built or orders failed to meet production goals? What is happening then? Well, will local Ford dealers have the ability to offer their own financing and F&I products, or will Ford control those offerings? Profit margins is a big one. I think if anything else, that should spark dealers' interest right there. Like, what the heck is happening to profit margins? Because the current way things are structured, is that changing? Are you taking that into consideration? Have you thought it through? And Brian, I'm going to put this up here. Thank you very much for this. These are Brian spent so much time going through this and thinking from a dealer's perspective, what is going to happen? Because this is all just thrown out there. And one price shopping is okay, but the ripple effect of what is happening right now is astronomical. And dealers, we need to push back. We need to really push back on this because there is so much in here that hasn't been thought through. So going on here is the complexities of trims. If you look at a Ford F-150, half the time when someone requests it and you get a lead from it, you don't even have that in stock. Forget the Ford Bronco or anything like that. Then you look at Tesla. So the complexities of trims, is that going to be as a consumer be like, it's not even worth it for me to try to order this because it's not even worth it anymore. Is that going to stop the consumer from ordering? Then you're looking at the design and build of nationals. Who's going to actually build that portal? Because that's a whole other can of worms that we won't even get into, but that's a big one. So I go back to this. I'm going to come off this here now. Is that have you spent time to really look through this? Do you understand the severity? Severity? I guess it depends on geographical location on how you want to say that word. But what you're getting into with this. Obviously, it doesn't seem like a lot of time and effort was put into this. And they're just like, hey, we're just going to throw it out there, kind of like digital retailing tools. We're just going to throw it out there and hope it works and hope for the best and force people into it. That's another story in itself. And I don't think there's enough stuff in this right here, right now, for me to get into that. But just a really, really big thing. If you have, like I said, I'm going to repeat myself like the 7th time. If you have not read that, please, I'm begging you, go read it, share it, push back a little bit on this, push back a lot on this. I understand that right now pushing back and voicing this and going back to, do you hear us? Are you being heard? Are you voicing your concern? Because this is 110% impacting you as a Ford dealer and the ripple effect that may go into other OEMs as well. Because once again, all this, if I don't have the car and someone else does, then they're looking at profit. Look at all these. These are just, I want to outside age 10 because Brian did a phenomenal job at listing 10. Maybe there's more. What else is missing here? Is there something else that Brian didn't think of, which I'd be shocked because Brian is phenomenal, but maybe there is something. So anyways, everyone, thank you so much. I hope you had a phenomenal weekend. I hope you're having a great start to the week. And it's June, man. It's June. It doesn't look like June right now outside my window, but it did this weekend. So that was good. And I cannot wait for everyone to see, for you to be here on Friday. I know that David, on his, all things used cars, it's about the same time as my show. So if you're gonna miss my show on Friday, I understand. Watch it later on. It's always on demand. So, and there'll be audio, I promise. So, all right, everyone, have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. And as always, that's where we go. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, buddy. Have a great rest of your day. Do something good in the world today. Find a way to serve, find the joy, be the joy in someone else's life. And man, just be a good person, man. Find a way to be a good person. It doesn't take nothing to be kind. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in and have an awesome rest of your day. All right, everyone, we will see you all later.